Well, Ulysses, we're going to close the week, Thursday and Friday episodes with mailbags. So that's what we got on the docket.
We love these mailbag episodes, so we have not one but two, and they go all over the place. So let's get started right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays. You can also find us on all the traditional podcasting platforms at Locked On Rays. Email us anytime. We love the mailbag questions, as you can tell and see and listen to, lockedonrays@gmail.com. With that, let's get right into these mailbag questions. This first one from La Gayaba on Twitter. I hope I'm somewhat close to that. At Tigre Gayaba. Not sure what that reference is, but I'd be curious. So the question here is Randy or Glasnow? Harold or Paredes? Margot or Siri? Brandon Lowe or Taylor Walls? 4 of these have to be traded. Which 4 stay?
Well, Gayaba, thank you for writing to us. So it's Randy or Glasnow? Harold or Paredes? Margot or Siri? Lowe or Walls? Let me go with the easy one first. The slam dunk. Harold or Paredes? I want Paredes to be extended, son. So Harold, thank you so much for your work the last 2 years. Hope you find an awesome place to get your good at bats against lefties mostly. But arrivederci, like gone.
Yeah, and it's funny because there has been a lot of scuttlebutt among the media, notably Mark Topkin, that the Rays may be looking to move off Harold Ramirez, or they don't have the full intention of keeping him around for the long term.
Yeah, it just makes sense. Like, I mean, and also no glove kind of harms him and just kind of pigeonholes him into the DH role. But with Yandy Diaz, in his struggle sometimes to be 100% healthy all the time, and getting older, you might want to get that spot eventually to Yandy if you keep him throughout the contract, and to keep him healthy, just first base and DH, first base and DH. He didn't play a lot of third, and that kept him healthy. So I think you're going to be seeing a lot more of that. So a lot more of that, which means Harold might need to take another team. So that's my easy one. I'm sure you agree.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, let's go with Margot or Siri. Another easy one. Bro, I don't care if you have to pay half of Margot's salary of $10 million. You have to, pay $5 million. Like, it's not my money. It's Stu's money. So, yeah, of course I don't care. But, yeah, I do not see a fit whatsoever with Manuel Margot. I mean, the bat is okay. The fielding has gone down.
Yeah, and that's where the value really lied for him, was the fielding. I mean, the bat was consistently average, slightly above average for the position that he played or plays. But the fact that, and who knows, maybe there was just something we don't know about, but the fact that he showed his butt trying to play center field is a big, big negative when you need depth at that position, and when he's been in the organization and been relied upon to step in and fill into that role when needed. And now that you can't really trust him for that, that's an issue. So you're going to tell me that Margot's just a corner outfielder with, 650 OPS potential? That just doesn't really stand for me.
Yeah, no. I feel like that's just, we remember where we're coming from, though. We're coming from when in 2020 and the Margot trade happens, there were so many articles saying, will the Rays try a 2-man outfield with Kiermaier and Margot? That's where this began in 2020.
Yeah.
Now we're looking into 2024 saying the man can field center field and corner outfielding. Like, it's, okay. I guess it's better than Harold. It's good.
Right.
But it's not what it was in 2020. And you're paying him $10 million and you have to move on. You have to move on from Margot. And I understand that he's well liked. I'm on the clubhouse and I'm on the fans, but you're going to have to make these changes. So for me, between Margot or Siri, for God's sakes, Siri has so much team control. I think it's just like the Harold and Paredes one. This is an easy one for me and say goodbye, Margot.
Yeah, same here. Unless Siri does something that really wears out his welcome in the clubhouse and within the organization. But to this point, we haven't seen that. But yeah, Margot, it's one of those cases where look, many other organizations could probably justify paying a player of his caliber that amount of money. I don't think the Rays can or should or would get away with that. If it was $4 million, $5 million, maybe $6 million, sure, but not $10 million. I don't even know if the Rays would pay Kevin Kiermaier $10 million again.
They didn't want to pay him $11 million.
Yeah.
Right? Last year or this year with his option. They're like, nah, we're not. If you're not paying Kevin Kiermaier, who just won the Gold Glove, BT Dubs, and put a really good offensive line, you're not going to pay Margot $10 million. So I think that this one is an easy one for I think most Rays fans to go behind.
Yeah. Randy or Glasnow?
Oof, Randy or Glasnow. Well, you know what? Let's think about that one for just a second, Kev, because I know that we spend a lot of time talking together, you and I, about Rays baseball and baseball around. Well, and we get fired up together on wins and losses, who starts, who sits. This is an awesome connection that we all have in this channel. But let's talk about something a little bit more personal. When you're in extended travel or you're bracing for a major weather event or limited by yet another supply shortage that we have all lived through, you're covered. Okay, thanks to our partners at Jase Medical, life-saving antibiotics and a long list of daily medications can be ordered in a 1-year supply, even ED generics for Cialis, Viagra, and others. So today, go online right now at jasemedical.com to receive your 12-month supply on your daily medication. Remember to use promo code LOCKEDON at checkout for a discount as well. If you or someone you love would love to get some peace of mind by having a year supply of any daily med, go to jasemedical.com to see if it's offered for you. Remember to use promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off your purchase. Go to Jase Medical, that's JASE medical.com.
Okay. Like I asked previously, Randy or Glasnow?
Okay. If one has to go.
One has to go by opening day 2024.
It has to be Glasnow, man.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
You finally acknowledge that Glasnow is going to get let go. It took this type of scenario and situation from La Gayaba to put it forth, but it's happening.
You know what sucks about this is that you can ask me any other one and I would have, but it's, look, you have to trust. No, you don't have to trust. It's very difficult for the Rays to find offense. Randy might not be your best offensive player, but there is something that he does do that are two things that are very important in an offensive player. Number one, he's a constant. I don't mean like, every month he has a 780 OPS or higher. No. He will have his bad months. But at the end of the year, the numbers, you know what they're going to look like. You know what to expect. And that is huge. To just basically know what you're going to get from the player before any pitch has been thrown. I think that's a tremendous quality in a player. And number two, durability. Yeah. He posts. he posts. This guy is a machine. So I feel like when you look at Glasnow, does he post? Are you worried that he might get injured? Are you paying him a lot of money? Like I think there are more cons when you look at Glasnow than when you look at Randy. Even though I want to keep Glasnow, and in my vision of what I want the 2024 race to look like, Glasnow and Randy are both on the team in this specific scenario. If I have to, pick one, I would think Glasnow would leave because of the cons that he has attached to his name.
And just think, we've talked about this before, the branding and marketing and fan engagement opportunity that you have with Randy Arozarena that you really don't have with much any other player not named Wander Franco, and probably never again Wander Franco. You have the contract and the control situation between both of those players, and the health, like you mentioned. Randy consistently shows that he is durable and available and willing to play 150 plus games. We're crossing our fingers, hoping that Tyler Glasnow can get to 120, 125 innings. So that is a big, big concern with me. And I would think that the Rays would look to, maximize whatever value that they can get out of that and unseat themselves from $25 million. So
yeah,
there's that one. And then finally, Brandon Lowe or Taylor Walls?
I should have started with this one.
Yeah, that would have been the easy one.
It's an easy one. I mean, guys, if I need to pick between Brandon Lowe and Taylor Walls,
I know we don't like Brandon Lowe's playoff expectations and performances, but we got to be realistic here.
I mean, by T-dubs, I'll keep the guy who can smack 30 plus homers and play average to a little bit above average second base, and makes $8.75 million in 2024, and he usually covers between 2 to 4 WAR. Yeah, that's a pretty bang for buck situation right there. This is not even an issue for me to pick Brandon Lowe. Again, it's, you have to applaud and celebrate when a player can be at the one end of the spectrum in baseball skills, like Taylor Walls is. That guy's glove is amazing. He is incredibly agile. He is a very good base runner, all of those things. But what I want to stress, and I think I've made very clear on this pod, is that overall value is what ends up mattering the most. It's not what is the best thing that you can do. No, it's all of it put together into a formula and then what it spits out. And if you use WAR as an example, he's barely a 1 WAR player, at least by FanGraphs this year. Taylor Walls is. Mm-hmm. And last year he was negative 0.3 WAR. So you take Taylor Walls, according to FanGraphs, you take Taylor Walls out of your Rays roster and you're not going to see a difference. You're not going to see a difference.
Probably not. And I got to give credit to Brandon Lowe, because coming back from that back issue, the lower back problem that he had been dealing with, I thought he was cooked. I was like, don't expect much of anything from him the rest of the season. And lo and behold, he finishes the year with 21 home runs across 105 games, give or take. I mean, pretty solid what he was able to put together before going down with that knee injury for 4 to 6 weeks. And depending on how deep into the playoffs the Rays would have advanced or could have advanced, he might have made an appearance again. So, of course, there is the injury concern with Brandon Lowe, but when he's on the field and he's on, he's pretty special from the second base position. And, I just really like to see him put it all together and stay mildly, relatively healthy for a full season. Give me Yandy Diaz posting 135 games. That's all I'm asking.
if I give you today a paper to sign, hey, Brendan Lowe will play 120 games. Do you sign that right now?
Yes, I probably would sign up for that right now based on what's happened the last 2.5 seasons.
Me too, and that's so sad. 120 games? What are we coming to this in this world? 120 games, and we're like, yes, please sign me up. 120? Oh my gosh, 100. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, and I hope, those are productive 120 games as opposed to...
That's the thing, though. That's the thing. You don't know. Can you sign 120 games right now for Brendan Lowe? And the thing is, I think most of us would lean towards yes, because you trust in his ability that if he's there enough time that he can put up a good line. Yeah. And that's what has happened usually, is that if he's
only played 120 games in a season, at least 120 games in a season once. And that was in 2021 where he played 149.
He's Kevin Kiermaier at second base.
Essentially. And that's...
I don't think we've talked about that enough, Kevo.
Probably not. And that might be a discussion for another day. But yeah, hopefully he can get it together and find a way, because I would love to see him go off and get back to... Give me 25, 30 home runs. Get into really showcase your skill set when you're healthy. Because that's the other thing, too, is when you're trying to work back from an injury, you go into slumps, and it takes time to adjust to the level of pitching that you're going to have to face game in and game out. So, sure. All right, very good question from Lai Gayaba there. This next one from... Nolan SA at Nolan SA, Tampa Bay guy. The comment here is, what's Basabe's future as an MLB player? Would Wendle 2024 be greater than Wall's 2023?
So there's two questions there. Would Wendle 2024 be greater than Wall's 2023? Okay, that's a different one than what's Basabe's future as an MLB player. Let's keep going on this hypothetical road where you got rid of Walls, and you're saying, okay, well, we got Basabe now. What can we expect Basabe as a MLB player? I think you can expect a lesser glove, around the same amount of speed. Mm-hmm. Base running, that's a different thing. Speed does not determine how well you run your bases, so we would have to check up on that. I think you would get a lot less swing and miss, because the K rate for Taylor Walls is ridiculous at 25-26%, and it has never even reached 20% for Ulises. But you would get a bit more soft contact from Ulises than Taylor Walls. Taylor Walls and Ulises have the same amount of hard hit percentage, but soft percentage, Ulises does have more of that. So that could mean a little bit bloopers or more ground outs, but if he utilizes his speed to his benefit, then maybe he can turn those soft hits or soft infield grounders into hits. You never know. But that's Basabe's future. I don't see this guy as a major
all-star,
league
superstar,
all-star, or not even. Or yeah. Honestly, like, I think he's just going to be a role player. It doesn't seem like,
and that's quite frankly, that's what we have to put in people's heads. Is that's most guys that get called up. That's most top quote unquote prospects, bit players in the majors.
Yeah,
that is what it is. Like if we're being frank here, I think we would and should be happy is if Ulises Basabe has, a career, and maybe not even the length that this guy had, but in terms of the numbers and production, a Denny Hechavarria, like something like that is probably what we're aiming for. Over the course of 3,000 at bats, 37 homers, and a 250 batting average, and a 641 OPS. Like, I don't think Basabe is going to do anything that is really special or remarkable in his career. Like, I think going forward, we're looking at a guy that's probably going to deserve and earn, 250 plus at bats in a season. And, I wonder if there was more potential and more ceiling to be gained if the Rays had let him percolate in the minors a little bit more before making the call up amid all the Wander Franco stuff happening. But if you look at, and guys can change, guys can alter their gameplay, but I mean, the scouting reports pretty much lay it out that he is what he is. He's going to give you those types of numbers.
Yeah, and not everybody's going to be Aaron Judge, whatever. Like there are some guys that just do their part, their role, and if he is able to just stay in the major leagues if he's able to, I think, to stay through free agency, that's a victory. That's a lot of guys' victory. I mean, the first victory is, to get to the major leagues, but after that, stay long enough to get arbitration eligible, and then survive that. Because some guys do get to be arbitration eligible, and then they just might be kicked to the curb, a la Tapia, and or Sulcer, just like, now, and then that's it. Nobody picks you up, and so like you got to arbitration eligible, but then they said, you know what, let's just pay somebody younger, less money to do that job. So I feel like if he's able to give you just a little bit more contact than Taylor Walls, about the same speed, about hopefully the same base running, maybe a little bit less glove, that's probably what you should be expecting.
Right. And then the second part of Tampa Bay guy's question, would Wendle 2024 be better than Walls 2023? As much as there's Walls negativity on this podcast at times, Joey Wendle, I think, is all downhill from here at 33, going on 34 years old. His showing, believe it or not, with the Marlins, like his offensive numbers were noteworthy worse than what Taylor Walls put forth. And I've got a little conspiracy theory. I think that the Marlins putting him virtually exclusively at shortstop might have hurt his offensive profile in a way where for years with the Rays and other teams, he was Mr. Third Base, Mr. Second Base, and Mr. Spot Start shortstop, not play every day, every game at shortstop. So I think that additional focus and attention of playing that position and the stress that's added there may or may not have an impact to what you're trying to do at the plate. But just look up Joey Wendle's numbers. He was a negative .2 WAR player this year, 212 batting average, 248 on base percentage, 306 slug, 554 OPS. I don't see it getting any better in 2024.
He was less than 50 WRC plus. I mean, he was 47, I believe. I mean, that is 53 points below an average major leaguer. Like that's way too bad.
And he made $6 million for doing that.
I mean, good for him. He deserved all of those $6 million, but I would not. I mean, love Wendle, love what he did with the organization. I think he was a tremendous addition to that fun 2019, 2018, 2020 team. 21 when he was an all-star. But no, I would be very disappointed. Let me rephrase that, because it's not going to happen. Wendell's not going back to the Rays, because the Rays.
The only way he's going back to the Rays is if he signs a minor league deal and then kicks butt in camp and like 4 injuries at the middle infield happen, and then he's kind of forced into a role.
Sure, that could happen, but
qualifiers.
But yeah, that's so many things. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, it's just not gonna happen. But wish him nothing but the best. But it's not gonna happen with the Rays.
I agree. All right, so there's that, and then finally, I know we not necessarily questions or mailbag questions, but comments here before we get to our next mailbag episode on Friday. Ty McCann, our OG listener, just want to give him a shout out. He says, hot take, the Rays will win a playoff game next year. What say you, Ulises? Will the Rays win a playoff game in 2024?
I saw that comment and it just it got me. It got my funny bone. So thank you, Ty, for making my night when I read that. That was funny, man. Let's say bleep yeah. Why not?
Okay.
Let's go wild. Let's just win one playoff game. All right. Let's score more than the other team just once during
That would be
October.
nice.
How about that? Yeah.
And it might take a shutout to make it happen based on what the Rays have or have not done in the postseason as far as offense is concerned. I'll tell you what, something that would help them to win a playoff game is winning their division and not being forced to the best of 3 wild card scenario. That's probably your best bet, is be the Orioles of 2023.
Yeah. Just get your division. Just get your division. It's difficult, I know, but that's the game you're playing.
Yeah, that's what. And again, it puts more weight and cachet on winning the division because, I mean, the playoffs is crapshoot, not necessarily a crapshoot, but a lot of things can happen. Anything can happen, but you have a little bit more control over the course of a best of 5 versus a best of 3. Just going to leave it like that. All right. Great stuff there from the listeners. We have more on Friday's show, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you on Friday.